What's up, everybody? This is Benito Mountain, publisher of Def-Ed Magazine. I want to welcome you to our listening party for Black History in Words and Sounds. This is a playlist I curated to celebrate the beauty and the excellence of Black history this month. And so we're going to jump right in. The first song on the list is by Big Daddy Kane. It's from the golden era of hip hop. And this song is Young, Gifted, and Black. So one of the things I love about this song is the fact that it's a nod in the title to a Simone song by the same name. But also the sample is from Albert King, I'll Play the Blues for You. So not only are we giving honor to Nina with the title, but we're also giving a nod to Albert King and that connection with the blues, because in some ways that's what hip hop is our version of the blues, sharing our experiences, our life experiences, our aspirations. And so in this song, it opens up with an oration from Louis Farrakhan that says, we call this individual into existence, and when that individual comes, I make no apologies for what I'm about to say. And what I love about that is that's what we do as educators. We call an individual into existence. And when Kane starts to rhyme, he talks about his own transformation. And if you're an educator, it should be about transforming not only yourself, but transforming the people that are in front of you every day. So let's listen to this joy.
So understand the way that I live, that's positive. And the message I got to give is a benefit for you and me. I'm talking about P-E-A-C-E, the chosen one that has turned the new leaf. I got gold teeth, and they don't chew beef. No pork on my fork, strictly fish on my dish. The Kane fallen victim, sucker you wish. I flow like water, slaughter.
So that era of hip hop was really about transformation, empowering young people, giving them knowledge of self. And we drifted far away from that. But this song is a song that kind of captures that moment in time. And so I thought it was appropriate to open up the list with Young, Gifted, and Black by Big Daddy Kane. So another song off of this playlist, the second joint that I chose was You Must Learn by Boogie Down Productions. You Must Learn. This is the consummate Black history song, because in this song, not only does it open up with him talking about being kicked out of school and not learning what he needs to be learning, he also goes on to list significant people from Black history that he feels should be in the curriculum. So this is one of my favorite joints too. Check this out.
Yo, man, they just suspended me, McBoo. Word, they suspended the teacher? Yeah, man, I'm getting so sick of this, man. They teaching us about nothing, man. You know what the bottom line is for Black people out here? It's quite simple. You must learn.
All right, song number 3 on the list is I Owe You Nothing by Sina Bose. And I love this song because it speaks to that authenticity. It speaks to her Gambian roots. It also talks about just not having to dance for anyone, not having to move for anyone. And for me, that's what Black history is about, like moving into a space of self-determination and independence and true authenticity. So check out the lyrics from this joint.
I don't have to smile for you. I don't have to move for you. I don't have to dance, monkey dance, monkey dance, monkey dance for you. See, I won't help you understand. I don't need no helping hand. No, see, these aren't tears. This is the ocean. These aren't fears. This is devotion.
So I love that she says, these aren't tears, this is the ocean. These aren't fears, this is devotion. So one of my favorites from this list as well, I Owe You Nothing by Sina Bose. If you haven't checked out her music, please add her to your list. All right, for song number 4, I had to go back to 1979. You got to think of the energy of the late 70s, early 80s. You know, we're coming out of the civil rights era and about to go into the 80s. And so McFadden and Whitehead drop Ain't No Stopping Us Now. And the energy of this song is still electric, you know, even to this day. So let's listen to a little bit of what they had to say.
A long, long way to go. And where we'll end up, I don't know. But we don't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together. We're polishing up our head down. If you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down.
I mean, you can't get much more motivational than that. If you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. So McFadden and Whitehead, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Another song that speaks to the spirit and the energy of Black history. So for number 5, I've selected Gil Scott-Heron and his song Message to the Messengers. I selected this song because it's an example of a forefather of hip hop speaking to the next generation of MCs about the weight that's on their shoulders and the responsibility of using your words in a meaningful way, because words have so much power. So Gil Scott-Heron exemplified the use of words to affect social justice and talk about social change. He did this throughout his career. And so this song is an example of that. But more importantly, it's an example of one generation of poets speaking to another generation of poets about the work that they have to do.
They got to get out there and get busy because it wasn't going to be televised. Because we got respect for your rappers and the way they freeway in. But if you're going to be teaching folks things, be sure you know what you're saying. Older folks in our neighborhood got plenty of know-how. Remember, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be out here now. And I ain't coming in.
He said, if you're going to be teaching folks things, be sure you know what you're saying. So got to give it up to Gil Scott-Heron, one of the fathers of hip-hop culture. Song number 6 on the list is For Women by Nina Simone. And the beauty of this song lies in Nina Simone's depiction of the experiences of 4 different African-American women. She starts with Aunt Sarah, then she goes to Saffronia, then Sweet Thing, and then finally she ends with Peaches. And as you listen to this song, listen to the intensity of her vocals as they build toward the end. And each of the women is different, and it's described in a very unique way. So I love this because it shatters the myth that our experiences are monolithic as African Americans, but particularly in this song, she's speaking to the experiences of African American women, the legacy of slavery, but also just shattering stereotypes. And I just love this song by Nina. Nina used her voice as a singer to promote social justice, to work for social justice throughout her career. So Nina Simone, For Women. Song number 7 on the list is Master Ace, Young Black Intelligent. I love this song because Master Ace describes his experience growing up and staying focused despite all the influences that he had around him in Brownsville, Brooklyn. So let's check this out. Young Black Intelligent.
Knife packing, guns holding hooligan, but I can't decide, so I'm on my way to school again, on my way to duel again, me against the world, and all I can think about is me against the girl, youthful exuberance, busting at the seams, look at all the other kids, cussing at the themes, look at all the other kids, cutting their period, but I'm on the team and my coach won't hear of it.
So in this song, Master Ace talks about the peer pressure, and that's something that's very real for us as educators, and we see young people succumbing to peer pressure, but also those who are resisting it. So I love that Master Ace captures the essence of that throughout this song. So Young Black Intelligent, Master Ace, number 7.
1989 number, another summer. Sound of the funky drummer. Music hit your heart, cause I know you got soul. Hey, listen if you're missing, y'all. Swing it while I'm singing.
So song number 9 is Fight the Power, Public Enemy. I chose this song because not only does it speak to fighting against the powers that be, as Chuck says in the song, but it also gives a big nod to James Brown, one of the forefathers of hip hop culture, in saying, sound of the funky drummer. I know you got soul, brothers and sisters. It's hearkening back to where the music comes from, the soul, the essence of Black music, the heart of Black music, which we find rebirth through hip hop music. And so Fight the Power is really an anthem that was out in the 80s, late 80s, 90s. And so we went into the era knowing that we were under siege, our communities were under siege, and Public Enemy spoke to that feeling by incorporating even a challenge at the beginning. Yet our best trained, best prepared troops refused to fight. This is a powerful song, and this is a song worth analysis at the high school level when we want young people to start understanding about their role as citizens, maybe even using the arts as a powerful tool of social change. So Fight the Power, song number 9 on the list by Public Enemy.
Don't touch my hair when it's the feelings I wear. Don't touch my soul when it's the rhythm I know. Don't touch my crown.
Song number 10 is Solange, Don't Touch My Hair. And I love the fact that this song talks about the beauty and the sacredness of her hair and her crown. Don't Touch My Soul. The embracing of natural hair is something that's also tied to a reconnection with our history and our culture. So Don't Touch My Hair by Solange is number 10 because it speaks to us embracing who we are as a people, and moving beyond those things that spoke to really a culture of assimilation and negating our inherent beauty as a people. Song number 10, Don't Touch My Hair, Solange.
When I was 12, I loved doing right, but I was trapped in hell. Had mad ideas, sad eyes and tears, years of fears, but yo, my foes couldn't bear. I searched for the truth since my youth, and with the church since birth, but it wasn't worth and knew that I was paying, plus the praying. I didn't like staying because of busybodies and busy hotties.
Song number 11 is Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth by Killah Priest, who's affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan. I selected this song because this is probably one of the best examples of critical pedagogy that came through hip-hop music in terms of a young man re-examining what he was taught about religion. So Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, the acronym spells out Bible, and in this song, Killah Priest is analyzing everything that he learned and talking about going back into the books and analyzing things from a historical perspective. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what's historically accurate, what's not. He even talks about the white image of Christ being really Caesar Borgia, teaching, using the music as a platform for teaching about history, teaching about issues of white supremacy, and teaching about the myths that are embedded in some of the things that we're taught as youth, as we grow up, and just critically analyzing what you've been shown and having a better perspective of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Killah Priest, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaf and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree.
All right, this song was released in April of 1939, Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit. And in this song, she speaks to the lynching that's going on in the American South. This song is powerful in that it paints a picture of what's going on in America. And these are, in many cases, state-sanctioned lynchings that were public. People would come in and view these lynchings. And so she's describing it as strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. And she goes into graphic detail, talking about the smell of it, the stench, and the look of the blood hanging as though they're fruit. And so this song captures a period in American history that we can't sweep under the rug. And this was based off of a poem that was written by Abel Maripol. And so it was adapted into this song by Billie Holiday. And in many cases, she was asked not to sing this song. But it's a great example of using your voice and your platform as an artist to bring about social change and awareness.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round. And you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we can work it out.
Moving Mountains. This song by Andre Day, Rise Up, has been an inspirational song for me and for many of the graduates in recent years. This song speaks to overcoming challenges, but in the sense of African-American history, isn't that the story that we've seen of overcoming challenges and obstacles and achieving what would seem to be the impossible? This song by Andre Day captures, for me, the African-American experience. Rise up. There are always going to be obstacles, but we have to continue to have the fortitude to rise above them and achieve greater and greater heights. So number 13 is Andre Day, Rise Up.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
Song number 14 is Gil Scott-Heron, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. And this song is included on the list because it speaks to the idea that revolution and change is only going to happen when we get out there and we get active and we get busy and we get engaged in what's going on. So Gil Scott-Heron is a godfather of hip hop. He's one of the godfathers of hip hop because he was out there along with folks like Amiri Baraka, the Last Poets, and they were talking about what was happening in the community and what needed to happen in terms of activism. So we can never forget Gil Scott-Heron and his contribution to what later became hip hop and hip hop culture. So Gil Scott-Heron, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Song number 14 on the list, Black History in Words and Sounds.
I don't give me celebration, give me communication. I don't give me sorrow. I want people's opportunity to live tomorrow. Give me schools and give me better books so I can read about myself and gain my...
He said, give me schools and give me better books so I can read about myself. That's what Black history is about. Having relevant things for students to learn about, culturally relevant literature. James was on it. And he is one of the godfathers of hip hop culture because his music was sampled throughout the 80s and 90s. He put his imprint on all of music history, but it's especially salient in the world of hip hop music. So we had to include I Don't Want Nobody to Give Me Nothing because it speaks to that initiative and that drive that we have as a people. So this is number 15 on the list, Black History in Words and Sounds, James Brown. Buffalo Soldier by Bob Marley. Song came out in 1983, and this song is Bob Marley's ode to the resistance of Africans in the Americas. This song captures the experience of the cavalrymen who were in the American Indian War. The American Indians, the Native Americans, saw them and compared their hair to the pelt of buffalo. So they got the term Buffalo Soldiers from that. But this song speaks to that history of resistance and of fighting and solidarity. All right, that's Fela Kuti, Teacher Don't Teach Me Nonsense. And this song kind of exemplifies much of his music that speaks in opposition to the government, critiquing the government, critiquing society, critiquing how we look at culture. And during this time, man, he was a very courageous and vocal critic of what was going on in his native country. And so I love this song. This song is filled with energy and the voices almost like a chorus or choir. And I think that it's very important that we reconnect with African music and we look at how African music has influenced American music. So Teacher Don't Teach Me Nonsense, Fela Kuti. Mama Africa by Akon, one of my favorites. All right, Akon, we know Akon. Akon was very popular in the 90s, but he's very proud of his Senegal homeland. And so this song is him speaking to Americans and even Africans in the diaspora, saying you need to reconnect with Africa. She has so much love to give. And he talks about missing out, not being connected, and you miss out when you don't reconnect with all the beauty that Africa has to offer. And so Mama Africa is number 18 on the list for Black History Words and Sounds. Next song on the list is Baltimore by Nina Simone. Very simple song, very interesting song here, Baltimore. But what I love about how Nina delivers this song is that it really paints a picture of what inner city life was like in Baltimore. And so many of our cities are going through a transition, gentrification. There's issues of homelessness. There's issues of drug addiction and violence. And so this song kind of speaks to what we're still struggling with. And unfortunately, much of this affects the African-American community. So Nina was always very political in her music. We talked about one of her other songs, but we need artists like this. We need artists who are going to use the arts to affect change and to bring awareness to what's going on. And it also solidifies a moment in time. So we know that when she sang this song, we know what was happening then, but we also see what's happening now. And unfortunately, very little has changed. So Baltimore. Can't have a Black History list without the great Donny Hathaway's Little Ghetto Boy. To be honest, I was first introduced to this song through a sample of it from Dr. Dre's album. I believe it was The Chronic. And so this song, Little Ghetto Boy Living in the Ghetto Streets, what you gonna do when you grow up? What you gonna do when you grow up? You have to face responsibility. So that's number 20 on the list. Number 21 on the list is Am I Black Enough For You by Billy Paul. Billy Paul, we know him from Me and Mrs. Jones, classic crossover hit for him. But check this one out. This is one, he was part of the Gamble and Huff, the Philly sound during the 70s. And so here he is. And in fact, there's a whole documentary about the making of this song, the impact of this song, Am I Black Enough For You? So check that out by Billy Paul, who we know from the fame of Me and Mrs. Jones. All right, so this is Les Nubians, and this song is called Makita, which is the name for the Queen of Sheba. And if you look at the translation of this song, they're basically talking about the efforts to change history, and how timely is that, since we've been talking about critical race theory and unpacking history and telling our young people the truth. This song speaks to that. And so I love the fact that they bring a very neo-soul feel, even being from France, and it speaks to the strength and the power of the diaspora and the feeling of African music that drives through us. And so I love the aesthetic of Les Nubians as well, because they use a lot of African jewelry and African facial makeup. And so it really shows that they're truly connected to where they originate from. And so I love that. Even though they're from France, they help to promote a sense of Pan-Africanism, a sense of collective accountability and solidarity. So Les Nubians, Makita. Next song is Zimbabwe by Bob Marley. And this song came out in 1979. And he was talking about the revolution that was going on in Zimbabwe, which at that time was called Rhodesia. And the British had been colonializing Zimbabwe, but the people were fighting for their freedom. And so Bob Marley spoke to that. No partiality. We'll fight this little struggle. That's the only way.
Bob was a revolutionary. Bob was a revolutionary, and he ended up performing in 1980 at the first Independence Day for Zimbabwe. So how powerful is that? He used his art to help encourage them to fight for their freedom. They won their freedom, and then Bob Marley comes and performs in 1980 there in Zimbabwe.
Tomorrow may never show up. For you and me, this life is not promised. I ain't no perfect man, I'm trying to do the best that I can with what it is.
Most Def, Umi says, he says, I ain't no perfect man. I'm trying to do the best that I can with what it is I have. He speaks to his humanity. He speaks to us all striving to be the best that we can be. But, you know, we are aware of our shortcomings. So Umi says, Umi is Arabic for mother or foundation or source. And Most is a multi-talented artist, actor, also very vocal, very active in what's going on globally. And he originated as a member of Black Star with Talib Kweli, but this song was off of his first solo album, where he really steps out there and displays his talents as a singer, songwriter, rapper. It was just a beautiful display of the depth of hip-hop culture that goes beyond just writing bars and rhyming, but just bearing one's soul. So Umi Says had to be on the list because as we celebrate Black history, we also have to celebrate the source, our mothers, because our mothers convey our culture to us, and also our humanity, and just coming to grips with who we are as a people, and just striving to be better and doing the best we can with what it is we have. Umi Says. Song number 25 on the list is Pharrell Williams, Freedom. That word alone justifies why this is on the list for Black History Month. The quest for freedom is the heart of Black History Month. And here Pharrell has this pulsing rhythm throughout this song, and the organ is coming through. And then at certain points, he's screaming, freedom, freedom. First name is free, last name is dumb. And this is a global pursuit. We all want to be free, whether we're in the Americas or we're on the continent of Africa. The pursuit of freedom kind of tells the story of Black history. Being willing to fight for your freedom, being willing to strategize for your freedom, being able to unite to fight for freedom. So that's why this song is on the list. The next song on the list is from the McIntosh County Shouters. It is Wade, The Water to My Knees.
Water to my knees. I'm gonna pray, gonna pray. Made the water to my knees. I'm gonna pray till I die. Lord, the water's so cold. I'm gonna pray, gonna pray. The water's so cold. I'm gonna pray till I die.
So this puts me in the spirit of the sound of the church in the South. The Negro spirituals, the slave chants, all of those things, just that open canvas of just voices and clapping and maybe the touch of a tambourine. So I had to include this because it really takes me back to memories of my childhood and just hearing those types of songs on the radio on Sundays, you know, gospel music that wasn't as contemporary and polished as some of the things we hear now, but it really spoke to how our music sounded when we didn't have access to all of the different things that we have access to now in terms of studio equipment and instruments. So I really like this song. I really like this. And it kind of leads me to the next one, Oludora, his song Okra, where it's almost like a dramatic entrance where the vegetable man is coming into the community, so you can hear everybody talking about it, and then he's telling, I've got all of these different vegetables. He's shouting out, I got okra, okra. Check this out. I'm your corn man.
I got strawberries.
All right, he goes on and lists all of the vegetables he has for them to purchase, So I love this because, getting back to the land is important. Getting back to where we support each other financially, that's important. Growing your own vegetables, or if you're not growing your vegetables, buying them from someone in your community who offers those vegetables, and eating healthy, taking care of ourselves. So this is Nas's father. That's important to note because I'm a member of hip hop culture. I'm raised in the culture. And so, you got to give a nod to Oludora, the father of Nas, one of hip hop's greatest MCs. And finally on the list is Mississippi Goddamn by Nina Simone.
Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. Alabama's got me so upset. Lurleen Wallace has made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn.
So Nina, in the way that only Nina Simone can do, gets our attention about what's happening in the American South with Mississippi Goddamn. Courageous woman who had no fear in embracing how she would use her art to speak to the tragedies that were going on in American society during the 60s. So much love to Nina Simone for Mississippi Goddamn, because so often artists and even sometimes professionals gain a level of success, and with that level of success comes a fear to speak out or to call things as they see them. And so much respect to Nina Simone, and it's a fitting close to the list for Black History and Words and Sounds 2022. My name is Benito Mountain, and thank you for checking out my playlist. Peace.